So welcome back to another voiceover, and we absolutely called it. Um, in a prior video, I mentioned that I would be prioritizing weighted dips as the primary push movement and not flat bench for a while. And I was going to do a road to 3 plates, but I already knew that I was there. So on the screen right now, this is the 3 plates, and this is the first time I've ever touched 3 plates on weighted dips. This is the first time I ever tried it. It was a bit of a grind, but it was comfortable. So this was kind of the first week of the block, and I was supposed to be kind of easing into things, but as you can see, the ego got the better of me. Doing weighted dips as the first movement of the workout makes a massive difference, and that is quite obvious. Benching heavy and close to the 300 ranges right before doing weighted dips obviously will have a tax that comes along with it. But we did do it. We did the 3 plates, so I think that it is only natural to work up to the 3.5 plates for now, to make sure that it's a realistic goal. I think that my strength is much higher than just the 3 plates. It was a bit of a grind, but one thing to consider was that I didn't really prime myself for this. This was kind of just on a whim, and like I mentioned, this is the start of a new training block. And I realistically should have just started off light, and then kind of eased into it and worked my way up. But just wanted to prove to myself that I can do the 3 plate weighted dip. So, but if we can work up to the 3.5, then we can do a total of 400 pounds, including my body weight. So I think that is a great goal to kind of strive for. And then depending on how that goes, if dip has a lot of training momentum, especially as I drop body weight, then we may stick with it for a little bit and try to work up to a 4-plate dip, which would be freaking wild. That it would be wild. 3 plates was pretty great already. You don't see a lot of people in the gym in general do weighted dips, especially going heavy. So I think that if we were able to get to a 4-plate weighted dip, that would be pretty elite. And I think that if we can't get to a 4-plate weighted dip, we would probably be close to a 4 or 5 bench, I would think. But again, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. That is to come. We'll see what kind of the next 8 weeks or so bring. I do 4-week training blocks right now for the dips. I am going to work up to a heavy singles and then do a 4x3 for the back offs. And for the back offs, as you probably saw, I am really focusing on the pause at the bottom. Doesn't mean I will pause my top set, but it seems to really help to control the weight and pause a little bit at the bottom. So we'll see if we change that in the future, especially when we're kind of pushing the weights a little bit further up. But very excited for weighted dips to progress and see where we can take it, and honestly see how it translates back to bench once I start flat benching again. I don't compete, but I was primarily training for the big three, so squat, bench, deadlift, and this is quote unquote kind of a off season to those movements where I'm introducing a lot of variety and not prioritizing the expression of the movements. So we're doing weighted dips. Incline bench is also the other prioritization. I might think about maybe doing a little bit of body weight dips on my other day just for movement practice. But I already do quite a bit for that upper body day, so we don't want to do junk volume. And on the screen is kind of the rest of the workout. But this is a full upper body day. First did weighted dips, and then did some body weight pull-ups. Prior to this, I was doing wide grip assisted pull-ups for a long time. Pull-ups right now feel pretty easy, effortless for the first set at the very least, and then the subsequent sets are quite hard. But hopefully, as my body weight drops a little bit more, the weighted pull-up or the pull-ups kind of increase. I have done weighted pull-ups before, but I think that I'm going to stick to just body weight for now. Maybe try to really get to 15, master just the control of my body, and I am quite a heavy individual, so I'm already kind of doing weighted pull-ups. So there's really no need to add the external weight. So but on screen now, doing a little bit of isolation, single arm lat pull downs. These feel quite phenomenal. And on my other day, I do a single arm chest supported lat row. Both of them feel quite great. This is a heavier stack. I used to do it on a double pulley, and that just gave me kind of a false sense of how strong I was, because the other stack I was doing like twice the amount of weight. Yeah, I mean, all the accessories are going pretty well. This is quite a long workout. When I complete this workout, I do work out with my older brother, and it takes us about a little bit over 2 hours to do the full workout, and very minimal chit-chatting in between sets. We're really there to put in the work and really grind out sets, and push our bodies. So, and this is a little bit probably contradictory to the current trend in kind of the exercise spheres or the bodybuilding sphere right now, where a lot of people are pushing the minimal amount of sets, reps, whatever it may be, to maximize motor recruitment. But there is something to be said about work capacity. And really just going into the gym and destroying it. So, I love doing a lot of the work, and it feels great. And I've been kind of maintaining my current weight right now. Currently, right now, the weight is dropping just a tad bit. I am starting to see a slight downtrend again, but my strength is kind of maintaining there, especially with all of the accessory lifts that I'm doing. And so I honestly feel like I'm recomping a little bit, if I kind of want to throw that out there, because I do feel leaner. My waist is smaller. I'm starting to lose my love handles a little bit. Starting to have a lot more separation, especially in my upper body. So I think that there is something to be said about doing a lot of work. So maybe it's just my body is a lot more pumped all the time because of how much volume I'm doing. But I think that I am doing something right. So and again, whenever these new trends come out with exercise science or these new studies or whatever, you still have to evaluate everything on an individual basis, right? So as of right now, doing a shit ton of workouts and a crap ton of volume, a lot of variety is working for me. So I will continue to do that, and you can kind of follow along with the process. And if you guys really want to, what I can do is I will eventually put out a program template. And you guys can kind of follow along, and maybe I'll even share my spreadsheet, and share with you guys my exact progress, just so that you guys can kind of follow along and get an idea of how I'm programming. So, and then we ended up the session with a little bit of posing. This is a little bit of the half natty lighting. So, and the contrast is a little bit down on the camera, just to be completely transparent. But I think I am looking pretty big. So, definitely a lot leaner. Less fat around my chest. I don't really have yitties anymore. I'm starting to get my chest line back, so starting to look really, really wide. And hopefully we can continue this trend. Back is looking quite nice, but I think that one thing that I can really bring up are my shoulders, especially my rear delts, and my lateral delts, and that's why I'm doing a lot of work for them. So, but tell me how you guys think I'm looking, and drop any other comments, any other video ideas. Kind of look just like to rant and talk about training, because I'm quite a bit of a nerd. So talk about gym equipment, whatever it may be. Drop a comment down below. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.